Welcome back, everyone. I am your girl, Sunday Rax, and I am so excited, y'all, about my guest today. This is my friend, my sister, my prayer partner,
Mhm.
a woman of God, a prophetess, an evangelist,
Mm.
an intercessor, a prayer warrior, a mountain mover, you know, and she fine. This is Tammy, y'all. Tammy, say hello to the people.
Hey people, how are you? I mean, she laid it on thick,
You
like my thighs. I love it. I
because
love
they save
it.
lives
Do and
and
keep you
do.
warm in the wintertime. No, but thank you, Sunday.
You're
I'm so
welcome.
excited for you. I'm so excited for this podcast because this is a conversation that so many women need to hear, and
Yes.
I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah. So, and just in case if you're wondering what she means as far as what we getting into, today we are going to be talking about something that a lot of women struggle with.
Mm.
And I
Oh yeah.
can't even really box it in a category and say women because men struggle too. But
Mm.
we can only bring it from our point of view,
Right.
which is the female side. But yeah, we're talking about body image,
Yes.
the
Yes, yes, yes.
struggles of body image and comparison.
In comparison.
Because comparison is, ooh, a thief.
Mm.
So let's jump into it. So
Let's
you ready,
go.
girl?
I'm ready. Let's go.
So Tammy, let me ask you this.
Okay.
When was the first time you realized in your life that you struggled with issues when it comes to your body or your image?
I remember exactly when it was in the third grade. And I've always had, even though I was very skinny and petite, I've always had a shape. I've always
Mm-hmm.
had, you could almost see the outline. And I remember my mother telling me that my grandmother said, when even as a little girl, she could see the curvature in my body.
Mm-hmm.
And so it didn't really hit me until the third grade. I was
Wow.
on the playground, and it's crazy because it's so vivid to me, right?
Yeah.
I was on the playground and Curtis White,
Not Curtis.
Curtis girl, Curtis, if you out there, I was on the playground and this boy grabs my butt
In the third grade.
in the third grade.
Wow.
And I was just like, I didn't know what to do. I was kind of frozen. I was, ashamed because, at that age, you don't want to be singled out. You just want to blend in, right?
Right.
And so I remember he did it a couple of times, and he was fast because he used to run, right? He
Mm.
used to do it and then run, and I would get so embarrassed.
So he knew he was wrong.
So he knew he was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so he would laugh because he could run real fast and he couldn't run fast. I couldn't run faster than him. And so I remember going home. I was so embarrassed, so upset. And I mentioned something in front of my father.
Mm.
Now, I have a daddy who didn't play that, okay? And there was 4 girls, and my dad was super protective. And my father came up to the school within a couple of days. I think he had to kind of calm down
Yeah.
because my daddy had a couple of guns. Okay, we live in Texas, honey. It's legal. And he came up to the school. He came up to the school during my lunch, my cafeteria time. And it was funny because didn't nobody mess with Terrence, okay?
Yeah.
My dad was like 6'1". He was a big dude. He came and sat next to me, and he asked me to point the boy out, and I was just like, him.
Yeah.
And he was like, come here. And he sat down, and I don't know what the words were that was said, but Curtis ain't never mess with me again. So
Oh.
that was my first time
Mm.
really consciously is when I paid attention. That was when I first consciously paid attention to my body and noticed that people noticed something different about me.
Right.
And I feel like from that moment on is when the sweaters started to be wrapped around my waist.
Mm.
When I made sure if I had a sweatshirt on or something on, it
Yeah.
was long enough to cover my curves.
Right.
Because, of course, as we know, you start your cycle and then you start filling out a little bit more. And then by 7th, 8th grade, you're trying to, wear leggings and
Right.
and so that was when I can honestly say
When it
the impact,
started.
right, started.
And see, the crazy thing is the third grade. In third grade, we're not worried about, or we're not conscious
Right.
of having to cover up.
Right.
You know, the only thing we want to do is get outside to recess
Recess.
and let it do what it do on that playground.
Okay, the monkey bars.
So for him to do that, and then now you're like, okay, well, obviously it's something different about my body
Right.
that made him decide to single me out to go do this. So
Yep.
now let me make sure I have this extra added layer of cover up.
So I'm not singled
So
out.
I'm hiding.
I'm hiding. And that shame, that spirit of shame is kind of like, you know, it came to the forefront.
Okay.
And so you constantly are mind battling that. And subconsciously, I mean, even till this day, I'm still very cautious. Not that I'm ashamed now,
Right.
but I don't want to entice, you know, or
Right.
give off the wrong vibe. But that don't mean I'm still ain't cute, because I'm still gonna be cute. It's just gonna be respectful cute.
Right. And you can't help your shape.
God made
or
me
your
this
curves,
way.
you know, because I mean you're naturally shaped that way. So
Right.
it's like you can't change it. I mean you don't want, I mean who would want to?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like
some people are buying it.
Right. Right.
You know?
You know, and
Yeah.
I will pay. You know, if I look, listen. If that bank account said I
was
can
right.
go to Miami tomorrow, guess who on a flight? You know,
Sunday.
chopped and screwed. But yeah, so I feel like the second question I had for you, you kind of already covered in the first question, because
Okay.
the second was gonna be like, well, tell me a moment and how it shaped you, but you actually covered that with your initial response. So I feel like I'm just gonna bypass the second one and go to the next one. So the third grade, that's so early. I wasn't expecting that. So that kind of caught me off guard. But I get it too, because it made me reflect and think back to when my first moment hit. And when you said third, I'm like, that's so young.
Right.
But when I thought back to my own, I'm like, I was young too.
Yeah. It wasn't that far off, was it?
It wasn't. Like, I feel like I was actually 5. And I felt
that's younger than me.
I know, but we don't realize that at such a young age, it for it to take a hold and take root.
Your mind isn't even mature enough.
It's not.
It's not. Your mind's not even mature enough to understand what's going on, and you come into agreement with that so young. It almost is like a blanket, right? That spirit is almost like a blanket over you that just continuously layers as time goes on, and it's just planted in the back of your head.
Right.
But 5 is young too.
It is. I didn't realize that until
Girl, you
now.
couldn't even read.
I could read a little. You know?
Yeah.
A little.
Digit.
Them short books, you know, with more pictures than words. But yeah.
What spot?
So how would you say that your body struggles has affected like your confidence?
Oh, wow. And so many. I think more so younger, right? I went to school in a district where it wasn't a lot of people that looked like me. And we all know that, you know, it's harder. You're trying even harder to camouflage yourself, but it's harder because there's not too many brown girls, you know, in your class. So it was something that I constantly was a stop go within myself of, I'm beautiful, but your butt is big. I'm beautiful, but if you could just lose a little weight, or you could, you know, proportion out, or if you could look more like, you know, Letitia, or
if my hips were not so wide.
If my hips were not so wide. And dealing with that at such a young age was very hard. Not until probably, and to be honest, even through middle school and high school, like people would make comments, right? Not even people, more so guys, of course, right? Would make comments like, you know, she's fine, but I didn't want to be fine like that. Right?
Okay, gotcha.
So that's another thing to talk about, because my mindset around what was beautiful didn't look like me.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes. And it's like, how can you not love what you look like, but
Love
love
what
what
someone
somebody
else
else
looks
looks
like
like.
when they think that they're not beautiful and they don't like what they
Exactly.
look like.
Exactly.
Because from the outside looking in, you're looking at someone, you're like, oh my God, she is so pretty.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, her hair. Oh my gosh, her shape.
If I had her eyelashes, if I had her hair, if my skin looked like that,
Right.
if I had even calf muscles, like I was in drill team and I was like, I want my legs to look like Keisha's.
Girl, calf muscles.
Calf muscles.
I get
Like I
it.
had stick legs, right? I was
Yeah.
like, I wanted an athletic build, right?
Yeah.
And I ain't had that.
You know what's crazy is that I talk to my cousins now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had a group of cousins where we were really close. Where
Mm-hmm.
this cousin's house was the only house my mama would let us stay at, and I used to think my one particular cousin was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
The most chocolatey skin you could ever see.
Oh yeah.
Face gorgeous. Like I wanted to look like her.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now that we're adults, and I'll tell them like, girl, I used to think you were so like I wanted to look like you. She was like, I used to think I'm too dark. I'm too short. I used to think that you were pretty. And I was like, who told you that?
Right.
Like, but we see this distorted version of ourselves.
Right.
For me growing up, I was always the fat kid, so it was like I was always the biggest one in class.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always get picked on. Like I was the nicest kid. Like I would hang out with anybody, the nerds, the people that people didn't want to talk to, the gothic group. Like it didn't matter to me, but it was like always to fill out a place. So it's like now me growing up knowing that we had to shop in the plus girl section, I knew that as a kid.
Yeah.
But now in school, like you're getting made fun of. So now
Right.
you're looking around like I am the biggest one in here.
Right.
Like everyone's able to sit Indian style and just hop up without using their hands. I gotta turn and roll and push up. You know what I'm saying? So
Sit
it's
close
like,
to the wall so you can be like, hold on.
let me grab
anchor,
this
anchor
chair.
up.
Right. Or let me make sure I can get up fast like the other kids. Now you start to overly criticize and analyze yourself.
And it's stressful.
Because now instead of just blending in and belonging and being a child, now you're trying to make sure you fit in as much as possible with everybody else. And that's not what kids should be. I mean, you shouldn't have to have that weight on yourself.
And I feel so bad for children these days because, we didn't have the exposure of the platforms like social media.
Thank God.
Always in your face. Right. You may have been teased by, the people in your class or, whatnot, but to know everywhere you turn, there's a reminder that you stand out or that you don't look like 300 million other people on TikTok or Instagram. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that weight and that pressure to look a certain way or identify instead of, our age, it was just like the kids in our class, right?
Right.
Now it's all the kids in the world.
Yes. We used to be able to leave school and leave what happened at school.
At school.
We could have a fight at school and it'd be left at school. And your parents wouldn't know because you were smart enough to fight in the bathroom during your lunch period and have your friend block the door.
Okay.
So you wouldn't get a whooping at home.
Right.
But now everything is
video recorded.
Thank God.
Thank God.
We didn't have social media.
Seriously.
Because I'd probably still be getting whoopings today.
Yeah, me too. I'm still probably on punishment and my mama forgot. But it saddens me because that just means we have to work harder at pouring in to these kids. And I mean, if you look at suicide rates right now amongst I think it's 10 to 13-year-olds, it's like through the roof.
Because if you're already secretly battling with stuff, and now you have a world where your peers record everything, they're cyberbullying you.
Yeah.
So now you have other people that someone posted a video or a photo of you, and now millions of other people are now joining in the bashing when you're already battling depression.
Right.
When you're already on the verge of suicide.
Right.
This is the very thing that will take you over the edge.
And that's it. It will take you over the edge. And so I would encourage people to really and I know it's not easy to hunker down on what your kids see and blocking them from different websites or limiting phone time or platform time, but please do it. And also take the time to pour into your children.
That
Look
part.
them in the face and tell them they're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know that that was a great color lip gloss. I love the shade blue on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look them in their eyes and tell them that. Because truth be told, a lot of us as adults still need that.
Hello. Like I am strangers hype me up crew. Like I
Mm-hmm.
will pass. I'm like, okay, outfit. Girl,
Right.
I like your hair. And there's people like, I just got it cut. Girl, that looks good on you.
And do you know that that literally probably took somebody out of depression?
But and it's so like it's so heartfelt. It's
Mm-hmm.
so innocent. It's so like I mean like I'm not just saying, oh, like even with men, brother, that suit you wearing,
Yeah.
oh, you did that today.
You literally probably took them from like 0 to 1,000.
And just imagine, like, if someone is having a rough, or even if you're not having a rough day, for
Mm-hmm.
someone to walk up to you and say, "Oh, girl, you doing that?" You're
Yeah.
like, "Honey, oh,
Like you saw,
thank
and also you saw me.
you." Right. Out of
When
all the
I
people,
tried to hold myself back and hide, you
mm-hmm.
saw me, and that is so powerful. There is a friend of mine right now. We literally became friends by me complimenting her in the gym.
Wow.
I'd seen her a couple of weeks, a couple of times, 2 or 3 times in the gym. And it was like I had seen her for a couple of weeks, and then I didn't see her for a while, for
Mm-hmm.
let's say a month. And she came back, and I could like notice a weight loss.
Yeah.
I could see got a little leggings on, the little
Yeah.
crop top. And I was like, girl, you looking good. Like you said, just
Yeah.
giving a compliment, and she came back to me like a year later and was just like, thank you for that. She was like, because I had lost a little weight, but
Mm-hmm.
I still needed to lose more. And I was having a hard, she's a single woman. She has
Mm-hmm.
no family here. All she has
Wow.
is work. So hearing that from a stranger,
Mm-hmm.
for her, she was just like, it helped push me to keep
Right.
coming.
Right.
And then she made her whole man and got a boyfriend, and now she even skintier. And I'm
Come
so
on.
proud of her. But like you said, it takes nothing but a second.
It truly does. And this brought me back to a moment where I was in Aldi.
Mm.
And I was checking out.
Mm-hmm.
So, in Aldi, like the cashiers, they sit down in a chair and they check you out.
Mm-hmm.
So, the guy that was checking me out, he was an older guy,
Okay.
right? So I was looking at him, and like when I look at people, I'm like, "Hi, how are you?" But
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking, and I'm like, "Okay,
Mm-hmm.
oh, he has blue eyes. He has like this chiseled cheekbones
Mm-hmm.
popping." I was like,
It's like,
I said, "You are a really handsome man,"
mm.
and I said respectfully.
Right.
Because
I don't want your digits.
exactly, respectfully. And he was like, he paused. He was just
Mm.
like, I could tell he didn't know what to say.
Mm.
And so, I swiped my card. And as I was, because you have to bag your own food at Aldi.
Yeah.
So I
Don't
pushed my
remind
little
me.
cart to the side. And he looked back at me. He said, I was having such a rough day.
Mm.
And I was just like, but it's okay. It's going to be
Mm.
fine. So I started bagging my stuff, just minding my, going back in my zone. So when I was getting ready to grab my basket to push to go out the door, I looked to see where he was because he was standing in the produce loading up fruit, and he was just looking at me like, who is this woman?
Mm.
And it was just that small seed.
Mm.
That small, like, I don't know what this man was going through,
Right.
but the fact that he said, I was having a rough day, and the shakiness in his voice sounded like he wanted to cry.
Mm-hmm.
And and I'm like, you just never know what somebody needs to hear.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you explained to me like how and what it made you feel like in the 3rd grade,
Mm-hmm.
how did that roll over to womanhood?
Mm. A lot of time, so one of the things about me that I'm so thankful for is that I'm very resilient.
Mm-hmm.
You might kick a sister, but I'm coming back. And that's just I just thank God for one of, I guess, my character traits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get it twisted. A sister probably went home and cried, right?
Yeah.
Looked in the mirror, felt a little low for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But I always focused on what I thought was beautiful about me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, my face ain't that bad.
Right.
I just need people to focus from like,
From the neck up?
yeah, from the neck up.
Yeah.
So I focused on making sure, brows was right.
Yeah.
Lip gloss was done. I moisturized, washed my face. I tried to make it to where this part
Was the
was the
right.
focal point, right?
Right.
And so I focused on the things that I felt were beautiful.
Tammy, that is so
Until
crazy to hear.
I know,
That
right?
is, and I'm looking at you like, what is wrong with you? I'm looking at you like, do you need to go get evaluated? Like, Tammy, like, okay, so y'all, I've known Tammy for a while, right? When I first met Tammy and my sister-in-law, she walked in the room, I was like, who is fine? Like, she body is tea. They weren't even saying tea back then, but I have to say it now so I can sound cool. But I was like, oh my gosh, she has the perfect shape. And to hear you say you wanted your neck up to be the focal point.
That's what I wanted.
Because that was my story. Okay? Mm-hmm. That was like neck up. I feel like I was killing it.
Right.
Killing the game.
Right.
Don't look neck down.
Right.
Neck down, let's turn the lights off.
Close your eyes.
That.
Close your eyes.
Girl.
Go look over there. Closed. It's closed.
Damn it, what's wrong with you?
But we are our worst critic.
Yeah.
So I focused on that. And then I went to college. Mm-hmm. That was the turning point for me. Because like I said, I was always the minority in school, right?
Right.
So I wasn't in school with a lot of people, I would say especially high school, because we end up moving to the suburbs, like country suburbs, in high school. And that's really when it was kind of like the ratio of one black kid to like 25 or really 50 to 75 of any other ethnicity but black.
Wow.
And so I'm dealing with that. There's nobody that there wasn't a group of people that I could kind of hang with, maybe one or two people, right? But when I went to college, baby,
they say welcome home.
Baby, I went to an HBCU. Shout out to Prairie View A&M University. And I feel like that was where Stella got her groove back.
Come on,
I remember the first day on the yard, moving in, right? So back in the day, and I ain't gonna tell y'all my age, but back in the day, when we used to move in, Drew Hall, 1995. When we moved in, the football team, the band, like all of those auxiliaries were already on campus. So what they would do is they would sit out. All the guys would sit out and on the stairs or whatever and watch all the freshman girls move in.
Yeah.
And oh dang, golly, that girl's that. I mean, every single comment I was just like, wait, is this talking about me? I'm like, looking around, I'm like, ooh. The one thing that I always tried to hide
was appreciated.
And so, of course, now you got to walk the yard. And Sunday, I don't know if I was scared, happy. I had so many mixed emotions behind it because for so long I was so ashamed of my body and I didn't know how to feel about it. I'm like, they really do like it. Like, is it a joke? Right? Because Curtis White thought it was a joke back in the third grade, right? But now I'm like, okay, they're acknowledging it, but is it because they like it? Like, they like what they see, or are they just trying to? Right. I was so like confused, but then I found out real quick they liked it.
I bet you was walking in yard for everything. What? You was like, oh, it's breezy. Let me go get some fresh air.
Right.
Oh, let me go catch a leaf.
Right.
Got it.
My first period is 3 buildings away. And so when I started to get that type of attention, is when I was like, I kind of, okay, I must be cute. For real. Yeah, like, they really, And then, of course, guys asking you for your phone number. And I was just like, oh, wow. Like, okay. I'm cute for real.
Right.
And then I cut my hair and, I had long hair and cut it into a bob. That was my first time cutting my hair. It just took me to a whole nother level. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for going to Prairie View because not only is it an HBCU, but it was a place to feel safe because I was amongst people that looked like me, that had the same probably identity struggles, but not necessarily in the same way.
Right.
But we all I don't want to say trauma bonded, but there was a connection. There was an understanding there. Like, for example, you would never go anywhere without your homegirl or homegirls. Like, we had posses, right? Yeah. I made sure your lipstick was right. You made sure my hair was right. Yeah. You made sure we made sure we were good. And there was always that homegirl. It wasn't like catty. It wasn't, we all were in a unified mindset of empowering, encouraging each other.
And just imagine if you had decided to go somewhere else?
I would be stuck still.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it sounds like you got there, you was like, okay, I am that it girl.
Right. I found out real
We
quick.
we cutting our hair.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable in my skin.
Yeah.
I can now express myself the
Yeah.
way I've always wanted to. And just imagine if you were not exposed to that, you would literally still be
Be
stuck
hiding.
in
Yeah.
yes, and hiding your body.
Yeah. And it's funny how God will use something that you thought was just so ugly and so broken and all the things, right? And because I have overcome it, I now can identify it in other young people. Right off the bat when I meet them. And sometimes some adults.
Right. But see, that's your testimony, what God took you through. These are the areas that he will use us to help heal other people that are battling with the same thing.
And I thank God for that resilience.
Yes.
I thank God for that bounce back. And where the maturity. What it also taught me was to be okay with not being okay in certain areas like that, right? I'm okay. What it also taught me was when I say that, what I'm saying is, if I'm having an off day, for example, if my hair is frizzy and I just so pressed it out the night before and I walk into a room and it's looking real crazy, I'm okay with not looking perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Because now the love is so much deeper than the surface. I don't care if my butt's the biggest. I don't care if I've gained 14 pounds because I know I'm beautiful.
Exactly. And the fact that you mentioned about the hair, like I used to be so fixated on, let me make sure my edges is laid. Let me make sure there's no flyaways here and there. Because when you have insecurities and you already feel like people are looking at you because of your body and your weight, you want to make sure everything else is in order and in perfect. So, well, yes, I may be fat, but they can't say my hair is a hot mess
or my nails ain't done. Right.
But it's like when we get to the point to where we are whole and we've dealt with the trauma that brought on the self-esteem issues, the trauma that shifted us from being comfortable in our own skin.
Right.
That's when we're able to walk in places and not shrink ourselves.
Right. And that comes with just sitting in the mirror and being reminded that God makes no mistakes.
Does not.
Your cheekbones are where they're supposed to be. Your teeth are where they're supposed to be.
Oh.
Your skin tone is the perfect shade that he designed just for you. Your hair curl, texture, whatever length is exactly what it needs to be. Be okay with who God made you to be.
Why I feel like you coming for me. Like, I feel like, because when you said teeth, I'm sure you can see when I smile, my teeth are very short and childish. Like I have more gums than I have teeth. So a lot of times when I smile, I try to smile like, because my mama gave me these little baby teeth. So when you said, when your teeth, I said, is this Holy Spirit? Or is like, Timmy?
Really, I'm thinking about mine because I was mad my mama didn't give me braces.
Girl, when I smile, you see nothing but gums. And so I'm like, why she had to say teeth? But you were preaching to the choir. Like, I'm sure we're preaching to a lot of our listeners. And see, now I'm not going to smile because now I feel like y'all looking at my teeth. So, yeah.
And see, I felt that way because my mama got my sister braces, and I was like, why she didn't give me no braces? Because my teeth ain't straight. And that was the same thing. I would smile like this.
That was so crazy.
I was like, at least I have full lips.
Right.
So let me just let the lips cover the teeth.
I thought about getting lip injections to make my top lip bigger. To cover my gums.
Girl, I was the same way.
I'm still thinking it.
Yeah. No, don't do it.
But
God put them teeth where they're supposed to be.
Like veneers.
You probably can. But they cost,
look extra big.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
But y'all, the whole purpose of this podcast was to tell you that you are beautiful just the way you are.
Just
Yet you still see in real life how we're struggling still. Now I
yeah.
can't put in Tammy. I'm talking about me. How we still struggle with some things.
Yes.
But the whole purpose of this, guys, is to let you all know that you are not alone.
Yes.
Comparison is a thief,
Mm.
and it comes from the enemy's kingdom.
Absolutely.
Find you a tribe that is willing to pour into you. Be pour into someone else's cup. When you see that they're struggling, let's not tear each other down. You know, sometimes we can be so mean and harsh on other people. It can be the most random things. If you see someone with the prettiest eyes, tell them, you have the most gorgeous eyes I have ever seen. It's really important. So, you know, I really feel like we need to continue this podcast. We may need a part two
I'm
of this
down.
because
I
I feel
think we
like
do too.
it's so much we hadn't touched.
Yeah.
You know, it's so much more that we can tap into as far as this topic. There's a lot of healing that people need to experience because stuff that we bring from our childhood,
Right.
sometimes it lies there so dormant.
Right. It's almost like a basket of seeds. And also how to overcome it
Yes.
privately.
Oof.
Because it's not just about the thoughts and the words and the the conversations you have in your mind, but there needs to be another conversation on how to overcome it.
Yes.
So yes, there needs to be a part two.
We're gonna have a part two. We're gonna have a part two.
Let's do it.
But this is really good. Tammy, thank you.
You are so
much.
welcome.
Like this topic, I mean, it hits so close to home. Like even with you just making that generalized statement you were saying, I was like, is she talking to like is she she looking me dead in my eyes and then talking about teeth and stuff. Like, I get it. But y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. If this podcast has been a blessing to you, if it has touched your soul, share it, like it, and subscribe. And we will be back. We'll see you guys again real soon.
Yes. We'll see you soon.
Until then, peace out.
Bye.